Time quietly passes, carrying away the vibrant years of youth and leaving behind the marks of its passage on our faces. But does turning 70 mark the end of desires and passions? Or is it perhaps the beginning of a new chapter in life, one filled with freedom and peace and endless discovery? As we cross the threshold of 70, we suddenly realize that many of the things that once weighed heavily on our hearts now seem trivial and fleeting, like a boat that has weathered countless storms and finally reached a peaceful shore. Our souls become lighter and more serene. Life is a long journey, and along the way we often hurry to fill our luggage with worries, commitments, and material possessions. We chase distant goals, accept invisible pressures, only to look back and realize how much we have missed along the way. We are like travelers who have climbed steep hills and navigated winding paths. Now, standing on a hilltop, watching the sunset, we finally understand that happiness does not lie in what we possess, but in the peace within our hearts. It is at this moment that we recognize the burden of a heavy load only slows our steps, and the weight on our shoulders only adds to our fatigue. It is time to let go of what is no longer necessary, to free ourselves from constraints and pressures, and to enjoy life more fully. We no longer need to strain to please everyone, nor live according to society's expectations. Let age 70 be a time to be true to ourselves, to live with passion, and to cherish the simple things. Today, let us put aside the burdens of the past, listen to the voice within, and explore the 9 things that no longer matter as we step into our 70s, a time of wisdom, serenity, and true happiness. If this message resonates with you, like and comment with the number 2 for love. If not, feel free to comment with the number 9. Let's embark on this journey together to find greater peace, clarity, and joy. Number 1. Letting go of material burdens. In the journey of growing up, we relentlessly pursue material values, believing that true happiness lies in luxurious possessions, large homes, or numbers in a bank account. We accumulate, acquire, and attach ourselves to these assets, thinking they will bring us security and success. But as time quietly passes, we come to realize that happiness isn't something we can hold in our hands, but rather the enduring spiritual values that stand the test of time. Happiness is the joy of sharing, the peace in our hearts, the love, and the connection with those we cherish. As writer Henry David Thoreau once said, "A person's wealth is measured by the things they can do without." Perhaps we are owned by our possessions, rather than them serving our lives. After the age of 70, it's time to reassess our relationship with material things. Let us bravely release what no longer serves us, whether it's keepsakes, old clothing, or outdated gadgets. There comes a point when we realize that these items we once viewed as symbols of success, security, or preserved memories are actually inanimate objects. They don't contain our precious memories. Instead, they hold us back from moving forward. Rather than sources of happiness, these items now become burdens, tying us to the past and taking up space that could be used for new and meaningful experiences. Letting go is also a way of honoring the past without being bound by it. We can cherish our memories without clinging to old objects, things that once mattered but now only serve as symbols. This allows us to live more simply, to be mindful of each day, and to feel lightness in every step. Practicing the art of letting go enables us to focus on new experiences, to rediscover the joy of living, and to embrace the future unencumbered. It is the gift of old age, a liberation from material things, revealing that life can become richer, lighter, and more meaningful when we carry only what truly nourishes our soul. Number 2. Not worrying about others' opinions. After 70, one of the most valuable lessons is learning to let go of caring too much about others' opinions. By this stage, you have lived through the highs and lows, experienced joy and sorrow, and realized that happiness doesn't come from anyone's judgment or remarks. As philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "Remind yourself that you are part of nature. Everything is part of nature, so nothing happens outside of its will." This reflection reminds us that our lives and our happiness are not dependent on others' opinions or expectations. Instead, true happiness arises naturally from the life we have lived, experienced, and accepted. At this age, shedding unnecessary burdens becomes more important than ever. It's time to live life on your own terms, without worrying about criticisms or expectations that aren't truly yours. As writer Paulo Coelho once wrote, "In the end, only three things matter: how much you loved, how deeply you lived, and how well you let go of things not meant for you." Life is a journey where we must learn to hold on to what's essential and release what no longer serves a purpose. After 70, this becomes even more crucial, as our time is precious, and the peace in our hearts is a gift far greater than anything else. Letting go also opens the door for you to focus on what truly brings you joy. It could mean spending time with family, savoring the happiness of watching your grandchildren grow up, or pursuing hobbies to what you may have missed out on in the past. This is a time to slow down and appreciate the peaceful moments that you may not have had the time to enjoy before. Dedicate time to yourself without worrying about others' judgments. By letting go of others' opinions, you'll find that freedom is the greatest gift that age brings. Number 3. Saying no to unnecessary social obligations. Have you ever wondered why you spend hours at noisy parties, forcing yourself to smile and make small talk with strangers, while your soul yearns for a quiet evening with a warm cup of tea and a favorite book? When we're younger, we're often too busy with social relationships, commitments, and obligations to listen to our inner voice. But stepping into your 70s feels like being a bird freed from a narrow cage, soaring freely across a vast sky. You're no longer bound by others' rules, pressures, or expectations. You learn to say no to things that don't bring you joy, prioritizing what truly matters to you. Have you ever said yes to an event out of a sense of duty, only to feel exhausted and unfulfilled after instead? Now is the time to question what you really need in your life. Imagine allowing yourself to decline invitations that you know won't bring you genuine joy or meaning. Philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre once said, "We are our choices. We have the freedom to choose how we live, and sometimes saying no is the key to achieving a more satisfying and enriched life." When you choose only to say yes to the things that make you feel happy and energized, you're giving yourself the power to shape your life in the way you desire. However, this doesn't mean isolating yourself from society or avoiding all interactions. As writer Paulo Coelho has written, "It's not about finding out what you can't do, but about discovering what you truly want to do." Life becomes lighter when you spend your time and energy on things that help you grow and fill you with inspiration, rather than draining you. By being selective, you not only protect yourself from what's unnecessary, but also enrich your life with meaningful moments. Ultimately, it's a journey to realize that balancing yes and no brings harmony to the soul. Your life is yours to enjoy as you wish. Select the experiences you want to have, the people you want to meet, and the places you want to go. That is the key to a peaceful and happy life after 70. What social obligations have you let go of, and how has that changed your life? Share your experience in the comments. Number 4. Let go of what you cannot control. After the age of 70, one of the most profound lessons is learning to let go of what you cannot control. By this stage in life, you've accumulated enough experience to recognize that there are things, no matter how much effort you put in, that simply can't be changed or influenced. Life doesn't always unfold according to our desires. Sometimes acceptance is the path to true peace. Letting go doesn't mean abandoning all care or becoming indifferent. Rather, it means acknowledging your limits and allowing your mind to find tranquility, releasing the burden of unnecessary worries. As the philosopher Epictetus once said, "Happiness is not achieved by the things that happen to us, but by how we respond to them." This reminds us that while we cannot control all the events of life, we can absolutely control how we receive and react to them. At this age, when time has become more precious and no longer as abundant as before, letting go of what is beyond your control allows you to focus on what truly matters: the love of family, simple moments shared with loved ones, and the peace that life itself brings. Instead of being swept up in things you can't change, devote your time to what you genuinely enjoy and what brings you real happiness. As the writer Maya Angelou once wrote, "If you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change the way you think about it." This is the phase to practice this lesson on a deeper level, to live with serenity and completeness. Remember that worries and anxieties not only harm your health, but also steal joy from precious moments. Letting go of what you cannot change not only eases the mental burden, but also opens the door to enjoying life as you deserve. By knowing how to choose, how to prioritize, and how to accept, you'll experience a greater sense of freedom in your soul, a feeling of lightness and calm. This is the true happiness that age brings, helping you find fulfillment in what you have, rather than in the pursuit of what lies beyond your reach. Number 5. Stop comparing yourself to others. One of the most precious gifts you can give yourself is to stop comparing yourself to others. At this stage in life, you have traveled a unique and colorful path, filled with joys and challenges that only can truly understand. Comparisons not only add unnecessary burdens, but also rob you of the joy in each moment. As the philosopher Seneca once said, "Nothing is enough for the one who finds themselves small in the eyes of others." Indeed, when you measure yourself against those around you, you become an unfair judge of your own life, making yourself feel inadequate even when you already have so much. Instead of looking at the successes or happiness of others and feeling as though you fall short, focus on what you have achieved, on the milestones and experiences that are uniquely yours. You have built a life with its own set of values, no matter how big or small. As the philosopher Epictetus reminds us, you are not responsible for what others do, but you have complete control over how you feel. Each time you look at someone else's life and wonder if you measure up, remember that this comparison holds no real value. Each person has their own path and their own definition of success. After 70, stopping the cliff of comparison is not only an act of acceptance, but also one of liberation. It is when you realize that you no longer need to chase after any standard other than that of your own self. These precious years become far more meaningful when you live authentically, savoring the moments of peace that life brings. Take time to reflect on what you have accomplished, on the people you love, and on the irreplaceable memories you've made. By letting go of comparisons, you open the door to inner freedom, allowing your spirit to be lighter, more at ease, and to dwell in the happiness you so deserve. Embracing and accepting yourself, living fully in the present moment, is the path to a life that is both serene and complete. Number 6. Cutting off toxic relationships. In old age, cutting off toxic relationships becomes more important than ever, as it is a way to protect your mental health and reclaim peace of mind. Having gone through various life challenges and experiences, you come to realize that time is a precious asset, too scarce to waste on relationships that leave you drained, hurt, or stifle your personal growth. This is the time to prioritize those who bring joy, love, and genuine empathy into your life. Letting go of toxic connections is not an act of hatred, but rather an act of self-respect and honoring the life you've built. As the writer Maya Angelou once said, "When someone shows you who they are, believe them." This reminder helps us understand that there is no need to waste time trying to change or endure people who do not bring positive value to our lives. By bravely letting go, you free yourself from unnecessary burdens and create space for more meaningful and enriching connections. Author Henry David Thoreau also wrote, "The best thing a person can do for another is to help them, but sometimes the greatest help is to walk away." Sometimes, letting go of toxic relationships is not only about protecting yourself, but also giving the other person a chance to reflect and grow. It is a courageous step, a demonstration of self-respect. In old age, you deserve peace, lightness, and the joy that comes from truly worthy relationships. Do not hesitate to release what no longer serves your happiness, for it is through this that you can live fully, freely, and embrace the precious years that remain. Number 7. Stop obsessing over your appearance. Throughout our lives, we are constantly bombarded with standards of beauty and youth, leading us to believe that we must always be perfect, fighting against time, wrinkles, and the natural signs of aging, as if we were trying to hold on to the evening shadows. As the poet Rabindranath Tagore once wrote, this often becomes a source of anxiety and insecurity. But at some point, we realize that true beauty lies not in a flawless exterior, but in the story that each mark, each wrinkle, each characteristic tells. As Mark Twain once said, Wrinkles should merely indicate where smiles have been. After 70, we have lived through and witnessed so much that it would be an injustice to try to hide or erase those precious marks of time, because age is just a number, and a wonderful number at that. As Sophia Loren confidently declared, we no longer need to worry so much about our appearance. Of course, taking care of our health, staying active, and feeling good about ourselves are important. But that's different from worrying about beauty standards that no longer hold meaning. The most important thing is to feel comfortable with ourselves, to accept and love the body we have with all its changes, because those changes are a part of life, a part of us, as Audrey Hepburn once shared. The beauty of a woman is not in the clothes she wears, the figure that she carries, or the way she combs her hair. The beauty of a woman must be seen from in her eyes, because that is the doorway to her heart, the place where love resides. Number 8. Letting go of expectations. Life is a long journey with unexpected turns, and on that road, we constantly set goals to conquer and dreams to pursue. In our youth, we are eager, full of passion, ready to take on any challenge. Those goals may come from societal expectations, family wishes, or even our own immature thoughts. We chase dreams of fame, fortune, and status, believing that these are the measures of success and happiness. But as time passes, life experiences gradually refine us, helping us understand ourselves and see the world more clearly. We begin to realize that not all the goals we once pursued truly hold meaning. Some goals have become outdated, no longer aligned with who we are now. Some goals are merely burdens, invisible pressures that leave us tired and discouraged. Like a mountain climber who has conquered a peak, we have the right to choose to stop. Instead of continuing to strive for higher, more treacherous summits, we can let go of goals that no longer serve us, dare to step outside our comfort zones, explore new paths, and pursue our true passions. This could mean spending more time with family, nurturing love with our loved ones. It could mean pursuing a new hobby, learning a new skill, or simply enjoying life more fully. What matters is that we feel happy and at peace with our choices. Letting go of meaningless goals is not a failure, but rather the courage to be true to ourselves. It is how we value ourselves, respect life, and create true value for ourselves. Number 9. The guilt of prioritizing your own happiness. Throughout life, we are taught to care for and look after others, putting their needs before our own. So we are devoted children to our parents, good friends always willing to lend a hand, dedicated colleagues, and caring spouses. We find joy in bringing happiness to those around us, often pushing our own dreams and desires aside. And then, we start to feel guilty whenever we think of doing something for ourselves. We ask ourselves, am I being selfish? Do I deserve to be happy? But guilt becomes an invisible burden, preventing us from fully enjoying life. But after 70, it's time to let go of that guilt. We have spent a lifetime giving, loving, and caring for others. Now we deserve to receive, to prioritize our own happiness. Prioritizing our own happiness is not selfish. It's about loving and valuing ourselves. It's how we recharge, nourish our souls, and continue to spread love to those around us. Remember, when we are happy, we can bring happiness to those we love. Allow yourself to live a full life, filled with meaning and happiness, because life is too short to be stuck in guilt and miss out on the best things. Turning 70 isn't the end, but a new beginning, a new chapter full of meaning and happiness. Let go of the burdens of the past, the unnecessary worries, and open your heart to receive the best that life has to offer. Cherish every moment, love yourself and those around you. Live a full life, filled with joy and meaning, because you deserve the best. Thank you for watching. Wishing you good health, happiness, and a peaceful old age.